Hello friends, I'm Dan Hilsman bringing you another episode of Agent-Owned Brokerage. If you want to know all about eXp Realty and pro tips for growing your real estate business, then hit the subscribe button and tap that bell so you get notified each time I upload a new video. My name's Dan Hilsman. I've been on calls almost daily since 2018 helping brokers, team leaders, and real estate agents with questions about growing their real estate business and wanting to ask me questions about eXp. And you can get on a call with me too. I love helping real estate agents, so if you want to talk, give me a call, send me an email, a text, or skip all that and go straight to the front of the line by scheduling a Zoom call in my calendar link in the description below. I've helped hundreds of agents grow their business and get their accurate answers to their questions about eXp. Today's video is 2 of 4 of how I build a large organization at eXp Realty. You can use the same information to build a traditional real estate team. In today's video, how I built that organization, and there's 9 steps to that. And this will be entitled Scripting, but it's really more of a mindset or a little bit of a roadmap for me and for agents to help build their organizations or their teams. So let's talk about that now. And step 1 is who the agent is. I dig deep down on who they are. I like to take some time up front and get to know the agent. Prior to this, I used to spend most of my time talking about our team, or when I was a broker in charge, talking about our brokerage. Now I spend most of the time up front talking about who that agent is. Number 2 is where they are now. Number 3 is where are they going? What's their goal? Number 4 is help with the goal. Number 5, is that really the goal? We'll talk more about this in the stories that I'll tell on these 9 steps, the real life examples. Step 6 is why is that the goal? And what are you really trying to accomplish? Step 7 is plan to obtain the goal. Do you even have a plan to get to the goal? And step 8 is are you realistic about what's needed to hit the goal? And step 9 is are you sure that's the goal? So let's talk about the first step. Step number 1. I like to use real life examples, and I'll just use first names. But I have a friend, and his name is Basil. And when I was talking to him to help him with a brokerage change, I was aware that I knew enough about him to know that he closed lots of business, 30 to 50ish deals a year. Some of those are off-market deals. So, and he has does a few other things, hard money and things like that. But I knew enough about who he was to know what would be a good fit for his business and present him with a really good opportunity. So I knew that he was doing enough transactions to where he would be an icon agent if he joined my organization. That means he would pay in his cap, and then he would get his cap back in stock awards. Cool thing, it looks like this 4th year in the business, he'll get his, he's going to probably 4x the amount that he paid into for his cap. So paid in $16K, looks like he'll probably get about $64K back. Still yet to be determined, but that should be happening toward the end of the summer for him. But the message there is I knew who he was, and I knew enough about him to be able to help him in real estate. So step number 2 is where. So where are they now? So I like to use the example of Hope. When I met Hope and became aware of where she was now was at 7 deals. And talking to her a little deeper, I realized that, she was at 7 deals, and most agents, if they're at 7 deals, I believe that if they'll put in the work, we can easily help them make a few tweaks to their business to get them to double that. So it's not unrealistic to go from 7, 15-ish deals per year, because if you can close 7, you know enough about real estate to be able to close probably twice that much. And realistically, I don't think you're going to double your income there, because we're going to take a few things and help you with marketing and help you with your business. So I believe that number, honestly and more realistically, is probably more like 50 to 75% more money by going from 7 to 14 type deals. Number 3, where are you going? So one of my favorite examples there is my friend James. It was closing, had a small team closing 80 deals. I knew he wanted to go to 160. At 160, I knew he was going to double the amount that he was paying his broker and the brokerage, and I knew that there was other options out there where he could pay many tens of thousands of dollars less and still have plenty of income to get himself the training systems and tools to continue to grow those. And just was able to speak to him on his level where he was at and what was realistic about his goals and where he was going. So once I knew where he was going, I was able to have a helpful conversation with him, and that was super important. So step number 4 is, what's the goal? My favorite example there is a friend of mine named Levi. So Levi was doing about 50 deals a year, and I knew Levi wanted to do 100 to 200 deals a year, and ultimately maybe hundreds of deals a year. But I also knew Levi well enough to know that he's a family man, and that he wanted to learn how to have both time and financial freedom. So when we sat down and talked and realized that his goal was going to get him plenty of financial freedom, but it was not going to help him to get any time freedom. And so financial freedom for Levi and for myself was only part of the equation. One without the other doesn't really work as far as reaching goals. So it didn't really matter to me or to Levi to have plenty of income or plenty of money in the bank if I didn't have the time to spend with my family, wouldn't have time to take the trips that I wanted to take or anything like that. So same with Levi. We helped Levi become aware that we're working on both time and financial freedom, then that helped Levi a lot. When we talked to Levi about, is that really the goal? The goal was that his goal was correct on his units sold to help him with financial freedom, but it wasn't going to help him with the time freedom. So once we dug a little bit deeper into that, step number 4 and step number 5, is that really the goal? That was a tremendous help to Levi to understand that he really needed to pivot in his goal. And then we were able to help him make a plan to come up with. And now Levi's making probably 3 to 4 times the amount of money that he would have made with his other plan, but he still has about the same number of hours worked, maybe a little bit less. He can take trips, he can spend that time with his family. We have helped him to earn both financial and time freedom. Okay, so step number 6, why is that the goal? So my favorite example of that is my friend Andre. So Andre contacted Levi and myself one day and wanted to be our ISA. So when we met with Andre, we realized that the goal for him was to be our ISA to earn income for the family. But once we dug down a little bit deeper with Andre and helped Andre to realize what was the goal and why is that the goal, and is that really the goal, then we realized that we had a little bit of a higher level opportunity for Andre, and Andre's calling was probably a little bit higher than just to be our ISA at the time. So once we became aware that Andre's ultimate goal was to tithe as much as possible or more to his church, we realized that Andre's path probably was going to be better served not being our ISA, but helping Andre with a higher level opportunity. So that would have never came about, if we didn't have the steps, or if we hadn't dug down into, having that personal conversation, building that relationship, and going a little bit deeper with Andre. Step number 6, when we started talking to Andre about, why is that the goal, and is that really the goal, then that was a big deal for him. And now it's turning out to be a big deal for a lot of other people, because Andre is doing a lot of good and will continue to do good. And he's able to do a lot more good than he would have if he would have just had his first plan and if we would have considered or hired him to be our ISA. Okay, so step number 7, the plan. So is that the plan to obtain the goal? So one of my favorite examples there is, do we have the plan? So with Sharon, one of our agents, Sharon was closing about 10 deals a year, wanted to close more like 20, 24 deals. So we knew that Sharon was a good agent. She just needed a little bit of help or strategy with one good strategy that would add about 1 new deal to her pipeline each year. So we like to think of it as an oil well. She had a little bit of an oil well going with her sphere of influence in her current business, doing 10 deals per year. But we knew that we could add a different oil well, different strategy, different system to help. And that one alone would add about 1 deal a month to her pipeline. So happy to say that in the first 5 months, she's closed 4. So she's on track. She has nurture. She has clients that she's currently working with, and she's still closing her sphere in referral business. So it looks like by adding that one pillar, we're going to take her from 12 to 24. But that would have never happened if we didn't go deep with Sharon and find out, about her and to come up with a written plan to help her go from 10 to 24 deals. So happy to say that's working out real well for her. And it had to do with us working the system and having a written plan. Okay, so step number 8, are you realistic about the goal and the plan? So one of my favorite examples there is, I'll use the most recent example. I talked to an agent, actually it was just yesterday, and she's wanting to go from 20 deals to 40 or maybe 50 deals. So I'd really like to do 50 deals. So she's doing in the low 20s. You know, I'm aware that if you're doing in the low 20s, we can get you to 40 into 50 deals with some additional marketing, probably an admin. You know, kind of need to look at your individual situation. She already has a contract to close. She already has a VA. She's doing a lot of things right, except she didn't have a plan. She didn't have a plan, and she wasn't realistic about what it was going to take to get there. She had no idea. She thought she would just do more of the same of what she's doing, maybe do it faster, maybe do it harder, maybe work longer. And that could work, I guess, if you're working maybe 4 hours a day. But if you're already working 8, 6, 7 days a week, then that's probably not the best plan, and probably not realistic about what it takes to hit that goal. So by going in deep and doing basically a business autopsy, then we can see, you know, what would be best to help her to be realistic and to have a plan to hit that goal. So it can easily be done. It just can't be done very well if you don't have a plan, if you're not realistic, and if you're probably going to need some quarterly business planning or a 30-day review to make sure that you're on track. Real estate, like life, is a lot about getting back on track faster. So we're all going to fall off track. It's just if you can get right back on, the quicker you can get back on track, the more success you're going to have, the better your numbers are going to look at the end of that year. So let's talk about step number 7. Are you sure that's the goal? So there again, my favorite example with Andre, and the reason this example is near and dear to my heart is because what this is allowing Andre to do for other people. So are you sure that's the goal? So once we asked Andre that, he became aware that, you know, the goal wasn't really to become our ISA. And that was never really his goal. His goal was more short-term financial than a long-term thought-out plan. Now, he knew ultimately what he wanted to accomplish, thank goodness, because we couldn't have helped him if he didn't have a solid mindset and idea about exactly what it was ultimately he was trying to accomplish. It was just we were aware that he wasn't going to get there with his short-term planning. So are you really sure that's the goal? You know, that's helped me. I've helped a lot of agents with, once we understand and they take a little bit of a deep breath and a look around, we change the trajectory of a lot of agents' businesses and careers and their daily routines in their lives by helping them become aware of, you know, is that really the goal? So one of these 9 steps won't work nearly. They don't work nearly as well unless you put all 9 of them together. But once you learn how to put all 9 of these steps together, then as a team leader or a team builder, you can really help to grow your team and your business or your organization, because you're helping others. You're doing a great job to help the agents that you're helping to grow theirs. So once I became aware to kind of reverse engineer how we do this, instead of, you know, it being about our team or our brokerage or what we do and how we do it, when I could take that additional time, go through these 9 steps with each agent, then as I provide them more value, in return, they provide our teams and our organization more value. So I hope you got a lot out of the team building video. I hope me sharing on how to build a real estate team and the 9 steps that I used to do that was helpful to you today. Remember, you can get on a call with me as well. I love helping agents. So if you'd like to talk, give me a call, send me a text, an email, or skip all that and go straight to the front of the line by scheduling a Zoom call in the calendar link in the description below. I've helped hundreds of agents to grow their businesses and to get their eXp questions accurately answered, and I can do the same for you too. Be happy to do that. Just to give you an idea, so today I'm at in upstate New York. Actually, I live in Georgia, but I'm at Houghton College, and behind me here is the Kerr Pergola Fieldhouse. So for any of you Buffalo Bill fans, you probably know Kerr, Pergola, those names. But yep, my son's behind me here at a college baseball summer league, and been blessed with the opportunity to come up and watch him play for about 18 days. So that's pretty cool. But yep, hope you enjoyed the video. Reach out if I could be of any help to you.